Justin, hello. How are you?
Good, Rob. How are you?
I am very good. I'm very good. I am glad you're here today because I want to do something I've never done before, and I thought you were the right person to do it with.
Let's find out.
Yes, hello and welcome to Fleming Film Talk, the first episode of Fleming Film Talk of the year. And today we are doing a very special episode as we rank down the Best Picture nominees of this year's Oscars.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing a Best Picture winner, right?
Nominee.
Nominee,
Yes.
double,
Yes. So
both of
before we dive into it, I've been mainly covering the award season with Cody, so I haven't really properly spoke to you about it. How are you feeling about the Oscars, BAFTAs, and everything?
them. I'm not happy. Oppenheimer seems to be the big movie winner. Um, and yeah, it just doesn't make me feel good. But I have seen all 10 Best Picture. I'm the only things I have left to see because I watch everything for the Oscars is the five live action shorts, and then I also have to finish El Conde for cinematography, and then
Nice.
I have two international films left. Past or not past, but Perfect Days and The Teacher's Lounge.
Nice.
So I'm almost there.
You're almost there. Good.
hmm
Good.
How do
So
you feel about the Oscars?
I'm happy because some of my favorite movies, like out of all the Best Picture nominees, there's only one I would replace with another film. I think all the other nine are good representations of the year for movies.
Yeah. Well, I would replace probably two or three,
Okay.
but yeah. You want me to go first?
Yeah, why not? You go first, as I've not done an
All
episode
right.
for a while.
Sure. Okay, my number 10 is actually one that I do think that should be left off the list. They have certain rules where movies that are spoken in English, even though if it's an international film, don't get it put up for international film. This movie probably would win Best International Film had it been available for it, but it's available for Best Picture. It also has five other nominations, including director and actress. This movie is Anatomy of a Fall.
Can we talk about that one a bit later? Because that's a bit higher on my list.
You got it.
Sweet, sweet, and I'll reveal my number 10. Right, no fault of his own. He is a fantastic director. He is a fantastic actor. But this film just didn't do it for me. I do give it a 4 star out of 5, so I don't think it is a bad movie in particular, but it's nothing special. And I mean, fair play that he did a good attempt and got a great performance, not out of himself, but one of my favorite actors as well. And this is Maestro.
Just a little bit higher on my list. But yeah, some of the same stuff I'm sure we'll have to say about it. So I'll move on to my number nine, which I believe is definitely higher on your list. Um, yeah, this movie everyone seemed to love, especially before it was even nominated for anything. Some people feel like there's been some big snubs from this movie, including Best Actress and maybe even Best Director. But this movie is nominated for two Oscars, including Best Picture, and it's the romantic love story of past lives.
Okay, that's a little bit higher.
All right, what is your number nine then?
My number 9 is actually up for Best International Film, and even though it is in German, it is from my native Britain. It's the only film you'll have to fact check this, but at the BAFTAs it won Best International Film and Best British Film. I think it's the only film ever to do that in the history of the BAFTAs, and this is Jonathan Glazer's The Zone of Interest.
Yeah, I like this one a lot, so we will definitely be talking about it a little bit later.
Yes.
But now we can talk about one that you've already brought up because my number eight is Maestro. So
Yes.
take it away.
So Maestro tells the life of Leonard Bernstein, but it's not about his fantastic career, helping create one of the greatest musicals ever made in West Side Story, and composing a score to a brilliant movie of On the Waterfront. This dives into his relationships of his wife and his secret affairs with other men.
Yeah.
And Bradley Cooper has a good eye for shots and a good way to get performances out of himself and the actors. And Carey Mulligan steals the show, but to me, the plot just wasn't. It didn't feel gripping enough. It just felt like it was trying to be something it shouldn't have been, and more about his career. And plus, I don't like the idea of him wearing like a fake nose because apparently it's upset a lot of people in a certain ethnicity. And I think there are going to be memes and an on-running joke of Bradley Cooper never winning an Oscar, just like Leo.
Oh yeah, he's not gonna win. He's not. This movie won't have any wins, unfortunately. I do agree with a lot of things that you've said. I feel like Bradley Cooper acted his balls off in this movie. He definitely gave it 110%. Plus, he directed, pretty beautiful looking film. Some of it's
Yeah,
in
he
black and
did.
white. A lot of the music stuff is great, but um, for us to be okay with him having affairs with men, and then it seemingly like she's okay with it, and then relationships with men who are married, and then their wives are okay with it. It just doesn't seem like something that we should be applauding. But yeah, I just think that his career is a lot more interesting than his love life, and they should have given a lot more of that than what they did.
Yeah,
But the best part of the movie is when he is conducting an orchestra, which he's actually doing, and learned, like, took him 6 years to learn it, I guess. And he did really, really good. There's no denying his presence on screen and how he's capable of turning any character into what is seemingly a human person. So
yeah,
it just fell short. But I do like it more than the other two because you know it's well, I'll talk about Anatomy of a Fall later and Past Lives later, but yeah, uh, it's fine, but it's definitely not going to win Best Picture.
yeah.
And his effort before this was a lot better. A Star Is Born.
Yes. So my replacement would be Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yes, all the others
Uh,
I'd leave the same, but that I would replace it with Across the Spider-Verse.
hmm hmm This movie is nominated for 7 Oscars, including makeup and hairstyle, sound, motion picture, performance by an actress in a leading role, and performance by an actor in a leading role. Also, Best Original Screenplay and a Best Achievement in Cinematography. Yeah, it's on Netflix, so it didn't have much of a theatrical release. The budget is 80 million, and only the worldwide gross is 383,000. 6.6 on IMDb and 79% from the Rotten Tomatoes score, 58 from the audience. So I think they're kind of sitting where we are with that.
Nice. Sounds good.
Okay. What's your number 8?
My number 8 was quite misleading. You don't see trailers to this, so you weren't fooled like me and probably other film fans were. This film made itself out to be a comedy, but the comedy that was in the trailer was only the B plot. The A plot was a family drama. And this was Jeffrey Wright's big breakthrough in American fiction.
How could you not like this more? Yeah, I definitely like this more than even a couple more coming up. So we'll have to wait to talk more about that one. As I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll have to wait to talk more about my number 6 one.
Number
It's
7.
Oh, sorry. Wait, nine. Yep, number 7. It's the one that's winning all the awards. Probably will win Best Picture and Director, uh, and Supporting Actor for sure. I think those are all locks. I hope Paul Giamatti beats Cillian Murphy in Oppenheimer.
We will discuss that when it appears on my list.
Yes,
But
we're
we
gonna
can
have a
talk.
flipped over. Your top 5 is gonna be my last 5, and my top 5 is your last top 5. So that's
Yeah.
what it's gonna be.
Well, luckily, we can talk about your bottom one. My number 7's Anatomy of a Fall. I'll let you
Uh-huh.
talk this one through.
Okay, so nominated for Best Picture, Best Achievement in Directing, Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role, Original Screenplay, and Film Editing. So I have the same argument with Cillian Murphy being nominated, where she's nominated for Best Actress, which is crazy. Is okay, so you had to memorize a bunch of dialogue. That's your job as an actor. You already have to do that, and then you have to give a great performance. And she did fine, but it's nothing that is so breathtaking over, nothing like what Carrie Mulligan did in Maestro. She knows a lot of dialogue, and this was just a very slow, boring movie to me. I didn't care what happened. I didn't care if she did it, or if he fell out. I mean, nothing really kept me gripped in this movie. This is one I would definitely replace with, you know, Air, Saltburn. I mean, anything. At least Saltburn got talked about in way more than this movie did, and Saltburn took a lot more of a stretch to be a great movie than Anatomy of a Fall. This is paint by numbers, just trying to be a thriller, but it's not really. It's just a crime mystery, and it's also a court movie. What do we call those?
Courtroom drama.
Yeah, courtroom drama. Yeah. So those are always going to be tough. You really have to make it interesting if you're going to do a courtroom drama, and I don't think
I
that.
personally thought this was better than the previous courtroom efforts we've had, like the Argentina one and where the Crawdads sing. At least this one had a bit more suspense to it. And there was two characters I did actually love in this. It was the dog and the little boy. I thought they were the stands out of the movie, and
Absolutely.
I felt more bad for the boy than the mum.
Yeah, definitely, and the dog.
Yeah,
But
but yeah,
Sandra,
yeah, I think Sandra Hüller's is very good in this
yeah,
movie, but like you said, she just knows a lot of dialogue. She's kind of playing a character who feels similar to her own personality, and also the fact that her character's name is Sandra is a bit.
Sandra.
Yes, her character's name is Sandra in the film as well.
Yeah, she's also the one of the stars in the Zone of Interest, and she did a way better job in that. And I mean, not to
Yes.
put anything against her in this one, except for she doesn't deserve, Best Actress here. But yeah, she was amazing in the Zone of Interest. So I could have seen her as supporting actress there. But yeah, this movie just didn't feel good watching. If it was homework, and I did not appreciate it, but. A lot of people see a lot
Can
of,
I just ask if you're
good in it.
having better time with Al Condi while you're in the middle of it?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I so far I've enjoyed, yeah, El Condi. So,
Sweet.
um, I know Cody really liked this movie a lot and had it in his
You
top
did.
10, and a lot of people feel the same. I unfortunately did not.
Yes, only an honourable mention for me. It wasn't in my top 10. It didn't reach the 5-star barrier. It was the 4.5.
Mhm. 6.2 million euros worldwide. It made 29.5 million, which is pretty
Nice.
good for that international flick. 7.8 on IMDb, 96% from the critics and 90% from the audience. So a lot of people love it. But yeah, the fact that
Yeah,
it's got all the nominations is crazy.
definitely. So what's your number 6?
My number 6 is some would people say this director's masterpiece and whatnot. I think it was a really well-rounded movie. It kept us interesting and kind of soared by, even though it's 3 hours and 26 minutes. The performances in this movie are really, really good. Something that we haven't seen from aforementioned Leonardo DiCaprio, but also Robert De Niro gives a great performance, and so does the absolute perfect Lily Gladstone in Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon.
Match. It's my number 6 as well.
Hey, all right. Well, I talked a lot about Anatomy of a Fall, so you kick off this one.
Lovely. I'd like to rewatch this one again, since it's been a
Me
while
too.
since I've seen it. But as far as I remember, it's obviously about the Oklahoma murders in 1920 when they were killing the Osage people. This film really follows a lot of Native American representation. Lily Gladstone is obviously, she's kind of the lead, but she's kind of like the second supporting player, but she's fantastic. Yep, Robert De Niro was fantastic. I thought Leo was a little bit miscast. I would have casted him with somebody a bit younger and had him play a different character. And obviously, Brendan Fraser's scene at the end is fantastic. But I just really like the production design and the cinematography and how they perfectly craft this new world.
Yeah.
Sure, the pacing is a bit slow, but there's killing, and I like how it ends on a radio show.
And you want to know what's going to happen, like
Yeah,
there's a lot of reveals in this movie, and you just kind of want to see where they go. But I completely agree. The production and the cinematography is beautiful in this. Even for the opening scene with the Osage people just jumping around in the oil was absolutely stunning, and had me looking forward to the rest of the film. Plus, it's good to see this story told and see some recognition from something that doesn't always get the recognition it deserves. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, Martin Scorsese is really good at what he does, and he knows how to do history well and crime well and drama well, and I think he really nailed it in this one. And this is obviously my favorite of the ones that we've talked about so far, but also one that when you watched it, you go, "Oh yeah, this is going to be up for a ton of awards because of how well crafted and acted it was." And it even got pushed back from COVID, and this was the perfect year for it to come out. Unfortunately, Oppenheimer is the movie to beat, and I don't think it's going to beat it.
yeah.
Nominated for 10 Oscars, motion picture score. We also have original song. The song is Wazahazi, a song for my people. Best picture, best director, best actress in the leading role, best performance in a supporting role by Robert De Niro, achievement in cinematography, film editing, production design, and costume design.
Nice.
7.7 on IMDb. A lot of people are saying it's too long. A budget of 200 million, worldwide gross 156 million. God, it cost 200 million to make that movie. That must have been a lot of Leo's how much he wage, his wages. And then over on Rotten Tomatoes, 93% with an 84% from the audience score.
Nice.
All right. Since you brought it up first, we get to talk about my number 5 right now. I really enjoyed this movie. I think you're right. I didn't know that it was going to be as funny as it was because I didn't see the trailer for American Fiction, but I thought it was really, really funny. Lots of fun. I think Jeffrey Wright played this role perfectly. Cord Jefferson gave us Jeffrey Wright in American Fiction. My number 5.
Yes, which is a good film, and I think Jeffrey and Sterling played the brothers really well. Cord Jefferson, he knows how to write a good screenplay. It's clearly because he won the BAFTA and beat Christopher Nolan. I don't know how he did that, but
He won the what?
The BAFTA over Nolan.
For what?
For
for
screenplay.
screenplay. Nice. Do we think that'll happen this time?
I think so, personally.
You think it's going to beat out Oppenheimer for best writing?
Sure,
Mm.
for sure. But it just the balance just felt like it was too much more on the family drama than it was on the comedies. There's a comedy element sold me because I like kind of satire that kind of makes fun of itself. And I thought
Yeah,
that
this is
maybe it was going to be.
about a novelist who's fed up with the establishment profiting from black entertainment and uses a pen name to write a book that propels him into the heart of hypocrisy and madness he claims to disdain. So he's written books before, but he hasn't gotten the recognition that thinks he deserves. So then he has this pen name and writes this book called Fuck. And people buy it, and he becomes, but he's pretending that he's like a street thug and has been in jail and stuff, so nobody can really know who he is. And I thought that character that he was trying to play over there was beautiful, and then this, dramatic side was also beautiful. So he was able to do both in one movie, and I thought that was really, really smart.
Yeah,
Sterling K. Brown being nominated for Best Supporting Actor is a shock. Sometimes you understand when a guy is only in a movie, or a lady is only in a movie for 10, 15 minutes, and they get nominated. You're like, oh yeah, that was the best performance I've ever seen. That's why. Well, I don't think that necessarily happened from Sterling K. Brown. More as like Charles Melton did for May December.
yeah,
This is also nominated for Original Score, Picture of the Year, Leading Role from Jeffrey Wright, Supporting Role from Sterling K. Brown, and Adapted Screenplay for Cord Jefferson.
nice.
Do you think it's going to win any of those?
Adapted screenplay.
Yeah. I
Oh, and
see that.
and going back to Anatomy of a Fall, I think that's going to win Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah, that's been sort of sweeping the other awards. But also Tracy Ellis Ross is in this movie, John Ortiz, Adam Brody, Issa Rae. I think it's a great cast, and the setting was beautiful where it takes place. So, yeah, this one's getting a lot of love lately. Worldwide gross so far is 20 million. Doesn't say what its budget was. 7.6 on IMDb. And then 94% from Rotten Tomatoes and 95% from the audience. Loving it just a little bit more for this dramedy.
Lovely.
I would like to see Jeffrey Wright win, but I think it's down to Killian or Paul Giamatti.
Yeah. But for me, and my number 5, we go back to one of I believe it was your number 9, it's Past Lives.
All right.
Take it
Yeah,
away.
Past Lives stars Greta Lee, Tiao Yu, and John Magaro, which is pretty much the only 3 people that we see in this movie. Directed and written by Celine Song. A lot of people think that Greta Lee and Celine Song were sort of bamboozled when it came to being nominated, which Greta Lee was pretty good. When I had seen this movie, I told you guys that I didn't think this was going to get nominated for anything, and but it got nominated for 2. Got nominated for Best Picture, and also I believe screenplay.
Yes.
And yeah, so the story is of two friends, a friendship that happened when they were kids, and now that they're older, their lives have gone on, and they're rekindling sort of their friendship, and they lead us to believe that it's a possibility for these 2 to get back together, even though she's married. And yeah, I felt bad for the husband because they were threading the line too close of going overboard without going overboard as far as relationship. But this is one of the most talked about movies I feel of the year because it came out earlier and then it just sort of exploded. Still, you can still see it in theaters, but it's also on Paramount Plus. What are your thoughts about this?
I think Greta Lee is the standout. The two blokes are fine, like they're nothing special, but she is. I think Celine Song's on a great way to becoming a fantastic writer. She'll probably be the defining writer of the 2020s, hopefully. And I think for a first film, she did an outstanding job making a film that really was built on well-rounded character relationships. Because I watched a film earlier this year called Riley, and I couldn't get along with the characters. I wasn't really invested in any of them. But with this and Elemental, it's the way they build the characters and establish their relationship is what makes them great.
Yeah, but why is this nominated for Best Picture?
Screenplay, yes.
Yeah, screenplay I agree with, but Best Picture. I mean, yeah,
I
the
think it's,
dialogue's
I
fantastic.
think I think it's a 5-star rated film.
Yeah, I don't know. The rewatchability of it doesn't really stick with me,
I've
and
seen it twice and I liked it more the second time.
yeah, and this is one of those interesting films that's nominated. It doesn't make too much sense to me. I mean, no, on any other given year, I mean, we've seen romance movies, done well and written well, and just been completely skipped over.
And
And
this is one of them.
but this one slides into Best Picture when those
I'm
don't.
not
What's
trying
going
to
on?
sound funny, but I don't think a film like Joyride is going to get nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, it's not a romance movie. That's a comedy. Comedies never get nominated for Best Picture. And
One of them, one of
if
the
people
nominees is a comedy, a full blown comedy.
if people think no, not necessarily. If people think that Doctor Strangelove is a comedy, you are out of your damn minds.
I'll wait till you see it twice.
No,
You'll be laughing
no
your head.
way. I'm not seeing that crud twice. Um, but
You'll
yeah,
be
people love
laughing
Past.
your heads off.
I think Past Lives has the audience love, and this is the reason why it got nominated. But very very good effort from Celine Song. I think this is a perfect starter movie for anybody. You'd be lucky to have a great movie on the first go around, and then also be nominated for Best Picture. Um, but yeah, Past Lives 7.9 on IMDb. $11 million, or no, sorry, 26 million worldwide gross. Doesn't have the budget, but 96% from the critics and 84 from the audience.
Nice.
All right, that was your number 5.
Yeah, and
And
we've only got 5 movies left to talk about.
yes, that was my number 9. My number 4. Let's see if we match up here. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it put a lot of smiles in my face. I thought the character choice for the main actor was really really interesting, and the way that he portrayed it. Uh, this movie has been getting some love, especially in the Best Supporting Actress category, because Divine Joy Randolph is winning all the awards for my number 4 in The Holdovers.
Which is my number 4 too.
Yes, directed by Alexander Payne, starring Paul Giamatti and Divine Joy Randolph. Take it away, Rob.
Yeah, so Paul Diamante plays this bumbling professor whose students don't like him, but he is cast with the ultimate job of looking after the holdovers over Christmas. And he
Yeah,
bonds with one of the students, and they have a really good dynamic. We see Paul Giamatti give one of his best performances and shows that he is just fantastic character actor. He always has been. Angus Tully, the new guy, he's fantastic. And like I said, if there is a guy to replace Ezra Miller as Flash, I think this is your man.
Dominic Sessa,
I'm at Sassy, yes. Angus
yeah,
Tully's the character, sorry.
yeah. Yes, he did a great. I mean, it is a three-hander here. It's pretty much just the three of them for the main part of the movie.
And Divine Joy Randolph steals the show by she is the heart and soul of this movie.
Yeah, she's a grieving cook, and then they're forced to hang out with this sort of cranky history teacher at a prep school. And I think this is going to be one of those new holiday favorites. This is
I hope
has
so because I feel like it should be a holiday favorite.
Yeah, I was smiling throughout. It does bring a lot of joy. And then Paul Giamatti is just fantastic. I mean,
And don't you just love the 70s aesthetic?
yeah, I do. And this was probably, filmed during the holidays of this prep school where the kids aren't there anyway. So they made it that feeling of, no background and it being desolate and
And
just,
and going to the main director in the chair, Mr. Alexander Payne, he's always been kind of a very praised director, and I think this is his comeback. So I didn't like Downsizing, but I do
yeah.
love his film Election, and it was kind of nice of him to go back to his high school coming of age. And I feel like it has a really good theme of discovering one's sense of family.
Yeah, and when you watch it at first, you're like, oh, I really enjoyed this movie. Like I would pull for this to become a Best Picture nominated movie, and it became that, which is awesome. Also nominated for Best Actor, Best Actress in the Supporting Role, Original Screenplay, and Film Editing. How many are they winning?
Divine is the only
Divine,
person winning, I think.
yeah, I think Divine's pretty much a shoe-in. She's swept everything. Nobody has beaten her. She gives a great performance. A lot of people thought that when they, were hearing about her being possibility nominated, they're like, "How? How is that possible?" But go back and watch it, and you'll find out again because she
Fantastic.
gives, yeah, she gives a performance that it's so subtle it doesn't feel like acting, and that's what actors should be doing.
Yes, definitely.
But I am rooting. My the one win that I want the most is for Paul Giamatti to beat Cillian Murphy. So let's see if that happens. $39 million worldwide gross. You can see this on Peacock right now and also in theaters still. It's 8.0 on IMDb. And then over on the Rotten, it sits at 97% from the critics and 91% from the audience.
Nice.
It's a great movie.
It is. Ready for my number three?
Did you do number 4 yet?
Yeah, the holdovers.
Oh yeah, we tied. Okay, duh. Yeah, what's your number 3?
My number three is a movie I never thought I would like because I never grew up playing with this doll. I was more playing with Action Man. But I loved the Barbie movie.
Yeah, it's my number 2, so I can hop on with you.
Sweet.
Take it away.
Barbie lives in Barbie Land with all the other Barbies. The Barbies have a job and the Kens play on the beach all day. Barbie's having a crisis and decides to go to the human world, to which the Ken who likes her tags along. Whilst Barbie's trying to discover who she is and what it is to be human in the real world, Ken takes a more interesting a lesson and learns from the patriarchy and learn that men rule the world. So he goes back to Barbie Land and puts this influence on the Barbie Land, and Barbie must go back to Barbie Land to let the Barbies rule again.
Yeah, this is the biggest. This is one of those. It's a comedy nominated for Best Picture, but it also has a lot more to it than just comedy. I mean, but it is, yeah, touted as a comedy for sure. There's definitely a lot of heart and a lot of um, sort of what American Fiction was doing is like trying to teach us something in between the comedy and the written words. This is about feminism and how women don't necessarily get the opportunity that men do. And I think Greta Gerwig directing this was a perfect person, but also starring perfect people like Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. Also, this is the second movie that Issa Rae's in that's nominated for Best Picture. But Kate McKinnon and Emma Mackey, just so many, Simu Liu, John Cena, big cast. But it's big because of Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer helped it become as big as it is, and Barbie helped Oppenheimer become as big as it was, because Barbenheimer was the biggest box office draw that I've ever witnessed in my life. I thought even like a Star Wars Episode 1, nothing was going to top that, but Barbenheimer topped it.
I remember the opening night, we all had to wear pink. I did my fingernails black, and they gave us free energy drinks on shift and free sweets to give us a sugar rush all day.
Well, yeah, but also because you knew it was going to be packed and busy, and you'd have to do a lot of work to make sure that people can come in and continue watching this movie. But yeah, they're having the time of Barbie and Ken are having the time of their lives in a beautiful, colorful production, which is awesome. I think it should win. However, when they get a chance to go to the real world, they soon discover the joys and perils of living among humans. Not as good as we all thought. But nominated for 8 Oscars. I think this was the biggest buzz of biggest snubs, because Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie were not nominated, although both of them are nominated for their Best Picture, because they're both producers on it. Also nominated for Original Song, I'm Just Ken, and What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish. We also have a Best Picture Supporting Actress for America Ferrera, which was a surprise, I think. Ryan Gosling for Best Supporting Actor. Adapted Screenplay, Greta Gerwig, Noah Baumbach. Production design and costume design. Is it going to win any?
Song.
Well, yes. So is it I'm Just Ken, or What Was I Made For?
Hopefully I'm Just Ken.
But it's probably going to What Was I Made For. The only other thing that I see it winning
What is
for
the
is...
world's obsession with Billie Eilish?
I don't get it either.
Taylor Swift?
I don't get it. I seriously don't. I think her music's depressing. Unfortunately, I will turn her music off on the radio if her song comes on. I know she's great and she's huge, but it's just not my music. I don't want to, I just feel like it's so depressing. But the only other thing I could see getting is production design and then possibly costume design, but it's still going to be tough to beat Oppenheimer for those as well. 6.9 on IMDb. And get this, $100 million budget, worldwide gross, $1.4 billion. Biggest movie of 2023.
I'll rate it higher than 6.9.
Yeah, totally. 88% from Rotten Tomatoes, 83% from the audience score. And yeah, what the biggest movie of the year, of most years. Would it have beaten out Avatar? I don't know. In a world of that. All right. My number 3 is one that you had mentioned, I think, at your number 9 spot. It is Jonathan Glazer, and it's The Zone of Interest. I really enjoyed this movie, but why did you like 8 other movies more?
Because these 8 other movies didn't make me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, this is Auschwitz Commandant Rudolf Haas and his wife Hedwig strive to build a dream life for their family in a house in a garden beside the camp.
Yes, and when you hear what's on the other side of the house, that's what makes you uncomfortable, because you hear bullets go off, you hear people screaming, you see smoke go up in the chimney, and yet you're just looking at this horrible man, but yet he has this lovely house and loving family.
Beautiful house, beautiful garden, beautiful kids. His life is perfect. He is the master of a castle in this world, but it is literally
And
a
he's a man of
stone's
pure evil.
yes, and it's stones throw away from a camp where people are burning to death. I mean, they show us in the movie the new contraption of where they can have people walk through, get burned, the ashes spill back out, and then the entire thing cools down just enough time for the next group of people to go through and do the same thing. It's just a circle, a cycle of death, and it was disgusting.
Yeah,
But this is a beautiful film. It
it
is
is.
really, really well done. I
It
think
is.
from the start of it, it was just sweeping uh, uh, just stuff to look at where it's fields and water, and we see this beautiful family having fun, and then we find out that he's Hitler's right hand man.
Yeah.
uh, and it is disgusting, but what they did with it to make it watchable and something that can be nominated for Oscars was really well done and really well played. Sandra Hüller is the again in this movie.
I feel like she had the Mrs. Oppenheimer effect where she didn't do much and where she wasn't allowed to do much in the movie.
Yeah, her whole thing is that she is so happy with her life right now that when her husband has to go off and be stationed somewhere else, she demands that they stay right there in that zone because this is the place where she wants to have her kids grow up and her grow old, and if that's with him or not, she doesn't care. So obviously, she's just in love with the power that she has and the place where she lives. Because there's a point where she tells somebody, she's like, I can have your entire family killed without you even blinking, and that
It
is.
also reminded me of a Stanley Kubrick film with the shots and stuff.
Mhm. Yeah. But if your mom comes to visit you at your house and she leaves because of how disturbing the things around you are, that's got to say something, and you're in the wrong business. But
Yeah,
I just thought this was really interesting. I would rewatch this one,
I would too.
and I think that it's definitely better than an Anatomy of a Fall, obviously, but also that
Mhm.
it's it deserves its Best Picture nomination, but also nominated and will win Best International Feature Film. It's also up for Best Sound, which, just like you talked about, you're hearing gunfire, you're hearing fire burning, you're hearing people scream and die. It is amazing. Um, Picture of the Year, Achievement in Directing, and Best Adapted Screenplay. Uh,
Yes, and it won the two awards at the BAFTAs. I said, and best sound at the BAFTAs.
Yeah, British Film of the Year, Best Film in Not in the English Language, Director, Screenplay, and Supporting. It was nominated for Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Supporting Actress for Sandra Hüller, Cinematography, Editing, Production Design, and Sound. Yeesh. Uh, but yeah,
Have you
Zone of
watched any
Interest.
of other of Glazer's movies? I still need to see Birth, but I watched Under the Skin the same day I saw Zone of Interest. So I was very spaced out for most of the day.
Yeah, I've seen Under the Skin. I have seen Birth because I'm a big Nicole Kidman fan, so I was definitely watching anything she's in and loved that movie. It is interesting. I don't know if it's could ever be real, but it was definitely an interesting
Hmm.
uh, topic for a movie.
And you
Definitely
still
check it
need
out.
to see Sexy Beast.
And I have not seen Sexy Beast.
Oh, give Get a watch because it's a really interesting British crime drama.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
you'd be surprised that his first movie is that when you look back at Zone of Interest.
Ray Winstone, Ian McShane, and Ben Kingsley.
Yeah, in fact, Ben Kingsley was nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Ah. 7.7 on IMDb. Budget doesn't say, but it's so far gross worldwide is 16.1 million. And over on this was the last movie I had to see for Best Picture, and it turned out to be one of my favorites. 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's 78% from the audience score. I think they're just really disturbed by trying to normalize evil. There you go.
I mean, it's clever how they did it,
Hmm.
but it feels like for me, I'd have to put in a lot of research if I was to do a project like that.
Yeah, you just kind of feel
I
yucky
think with
after.
Jonathan, he had to put in as much research as he could, so he didn't want to hurt anybody by making the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. But I really loved it. My number 3. My number 2 is Barbie, which was your number 3, right?
Yep.
And so that makes, I believe we have the same number 1. So why don't you go ahead and talk about number 2?
Oppenheimer, yes, it's my most watched film on Letterboxd.
It was my number 7, your number 2. Take it away.
Yeah, so Oppenheimer follows the life of J. Robert Oppenheimer. It's Christopher Nolan's most recent film, and it mainly is focused on his 1974 security hearing, which kind of is the majority of the plot. But we do see flashbacks of him entering the world of science, how he becomes friends with all these big scientists, how he meets his wife, how he develops a bomb,
How he cheats on his wife.
how he cheats on his wife, and another plot involves the Senate hearing of the Senate who tried to destroy his reputation. And Robert Downey Jr. is fantastic. His performance deserves a, cat- a paragraph of its own. This man has had like nobody has had the career this man has had. He is winning Best Supporting Actor. He is the Will Smith of this year.
Just don't slap anybody.
Yeah, just don't slap anybody, Rob.
Yeah, already number 83 on IMDb out of 250, which is crazy. Nominated for the most Oscars here at 13 with makeup and hairstyling, original score, best sound, picture of the year, best director, best actor in a leading role, best actress in a supporting role for Emily Blunt, best actor in a supporting role for Robert Downey Jr., best screenplay, achievement in cinematography and film editing, production design, and costume design. How many are they going to win?
I think it's going to be picture, director, actor, supporting actor, cinematography, and score, and editing.
So do you think production design and costume design are going to Barbie?
No, I think they're going to our number one.
Ah, gotcha. I'll gotcha. Yeah, I think the surefires is best picture, director, and supporting actor. I think cinematography has a big chance here because Hoyt van Hoytema is the man behind the camera. Film editing, I actually do agree with because I think the editing was very well put together, but also
Jennifer Lane is fantastic.
And the sound is so good. The score,
It
the
is,
music.
but I feel like the sound of Zone of Interest is rivaling Oppenheimer now.
Yeah, well, is it up for sound?
Yeah, it is.
No, score, not. Oh yeah, sound right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'll beat it. It could beat it for sure, but score probably Ludwig Göransson has that. It's just one of those movies. It's your dad's favorite movie. You know, it's a dad film.
I think my dad would find this boring.
Well, my dad would love this. Is my dad's sort of movie then. But yeah, just a huge all-star cast, mega cast, and I just don't see why Cillian Murphy would win. It's the same thing as Sandra Hüller, where he just learned a lot of dialogue and he knew it. So really good
I'll just
job.
point out one thing, Justin. He is Irish. He's not American. He has to do an accent.
Well, then get an American to play an American.
No, because that ruins the point of acting. I would love you to see you play a Brit.
That'd be fun. Um, But I don't know. He's also been doing that. It's not like his first time ever trying to do it. So I think it kind of came a little bit easier to him. Not to say that it's definitely hard to do be in an accent the entire time, one that you
Yeah.
don't normally speak in. But yeah, Robert Downey Jr. kills it. He's a surefire winner, and this was another one of those big movies. $100 million budget, worldwide gross $957 million. I think this is definitely well. One, it's not the biggest, but definitely this is one of Christopher Nolan's biggest movies.
Yes.
If anybody else is behind the helm of Oppenheimer, would this movie be as successful? I don't think so. I
I
think
don't think so either.
Nolan's vision and 70 millimeter and all that was huge and made an impact on why this movie is so successful. But got to give credit to Barbie as well, because if it wasn't for Barbenheimer, it would not be as big.
I know
Um,
Nolan's directing on its own brings in money.
yeah, I mean, unless it's Tenet, right?
That still got money. I still went to see it.
Yeah, I mean, me too. But it's no Oppenheimer, but it should have been. Yeah, and then the bomb is one of the most amazing things you'll see. Uh, it was pretty well done.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, gonna win best picture for sure. 8.4 on IMDb, and then 93% from the critics, 91% from the audience. Do you want to announce our number one?
Yes, my number one is not only my favourite of these Best Picture nominees, it is my favourite movie of this year, and I had a ton of blast watching Poor Things.
Yeah, my number one for this top 10 Best Picture nominees as well. Um, top 20 of the year for sure, I believe is number 15. This is I've talked about the year of weird. Poor Things is a weird movie. 2023 put out a lot of weird movies. One of my favorites, Saltburn. But Poor Things definitely lands there. Already top rated number 97 on IMDb with 11 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture. Yeah, this is what the most beautiful film out of the 10. I mean, it is very well constructed. The cinematography is well done. The angles and the vision, the production. Yorgos Lanthimos is the director.
Justin? Justin, I can't hear you. Justin, I can't hear you. Right, well, Justin, I can't hear Justin right now, so I'll just quickly talk about the movie. So, Poor Things is about a woman who gets resurrected and by Willem Dafoe, and she falls in love with his assistant, but ends up meeting this cunning and sneaky lawyer who takes her around the world. They end up having sex with each other, and she ends up exploring the world. She ends up becoming a prostitute in France, and there's a really funny scene where all like the men are picking her, and all the other prostitutes are trying to like make themselves really pretty, so they get picked as well.
Yeah, what she understands is that the thing that she really likes, which is sex, she actually can empower herself, have power over men when it comes to it. So she utilizes that to, and also makes money off of it. Because, yeah, this is like Frankenstein. Did you say that?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Frankenstein, but it starts with the baby's brain, which is so weird. Um, but what an interesting concept. What a cool, new, fresh take on Frankenstein, something that we've seen done so many times. I just really thought that idea was really, really smart. And Yorgos loves costumes and he loves production design, and it really shows in this movie. And then you throw on the makeup and plus the remarkable acting from Willem Dafoe, Mark Ruffalo, and Emma Stone. I started to enjoy the movie 10 times more than I did when, as soon as Mark Ruffalo came on screen. The movie was fine. It was, going. I thought it was the whole thing in topic was a little weird at first, but then it became something so remarkable. I love.
When Mark kicks in, when it all comes together and the raw cheese stuff comes along, from that point the movie is a masterpiece.
Yeah, I agree. Everything on the boat also was just so interesting and beautiful. Yeah, this is like an art house film that is become popular. Nominated for 11 Oscars, makeup and hairstyling, original score, picture, director, actress in the leading role, actor in a supporting role, adapted screenplay, cinematography, film editing, production design, and costume design. How many are they winning?
Well, best actress is Emma's, and I think production design, makeup, and hair and costuming.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see Robbie Ryan beat Hoyt, but I don't think that's happening.
Yeah. I think Lily deserves it more than Emma, but I
It's
do
not
see.
just because Emma's won too, is it?
No, I don't care if she was one or not. I just think that Lily did a better job in the movie than Emma did. In her movie than Emma did in her movie. But nothing to take away from her. She definitely deserves her nomination. She was incredible and
Yeah.
always is incredible. And she definitely played a weird character and played it well. But yeah, I'd like to see. I bet costume design for sure, and we'll see if production design wins it. But makeup also because Willem Dafoe and all the other creatures in there are pretty weird. But yeah, pretty big cast, and everyone killed it. And
They
it's good
did.
it's good to see Yorgos and Emma tag team another great movie.
Yes.
Their worldwide gross is 93 million. I think that's more than they ever thought they'd get. Maybe 8.4 on IMDb, 92% from Rotten Tomatoes, 79% for the audience. Yeah, it's a comma, it's a dramedy, and it really, really works. It's bizarre and a brilliant tour de force.
Yorgos, Emma, Willem, and Margaret Qualley, who was also in Poor Things, will be coming back for Kinds of Kindness.
Oh. You can see Margaret Qualley in the new Coen brother movie, just the one brother, Drive
Yes.
Away Dolls.
I want to see that.
Yeah, same. All right, let's run them down real quick because we were all over the place. We'll alternate here. My number 10 was Anatomy of a Fall.
My number 10 was Maestro.
My number 9 was Past Lives.
My number 9 was Zone of Interest.
I had Maestro at number 8.
And number 8, I had American Fiction.
Oppenheimer sat at 7.
Anatomy of a Fall was my 7th.
I believe we tied at number 6 with Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, so my number 5 was Past Lives.
Sitting at my number 5 was American Fiction.
And we tied on number 4 for the Holdovers.
And my number 3 was your number 9, Zone of Interest.
My number 3 is Barbie.
Which is my number 2.
My number 2 is Oppenheimer, which I think is going to win Best Picture.
Definitely. And we both had the same number 1 with Poor Things. Yes. 3 ties. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I think that's the most we tied in an episode, apart from the Sam Mendes one, where we had the same top 3, and I believe we still do.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, great. Well, we'll find out what happens on March 12th, I believe. That is 2 Sundays from tomorrow.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Speaking of awards, the Screen Actors Guild is tonight at 5 o'clock, so I'll be watching that. Or maybe it's at 4. No, it's at 5. Over on Netflix, that's available to watch. I'll be checking that out and seeing if who I voted for will win.
Yes. How come you don't get to attend the ceremony?
That's a good question. I think they leave that to nominated people.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Any movie you've seen? Any 2024 movies you've seen that you
I've
that
only
you
seen two, but one I will recommend is on Netflix, and it's called Orion and the Dark.
Orion and the Dark.
Yeah,
Huh. What's this one?
it's written by Charlie Kaufman.
Oh.
It's co-produced by both Netflix and DreamWorks,
Hmm.
and
Jacob
it's
Tremblay, Paul
Jacob
Walter
Tremblay, Paul
Hauser,
Walter, Angela Bassett, Colin Hanks.
Colin Hanks, Werner Herzog,
Yep, Werner
Rob
Herzog.
De- Rob Delaney of stand-up comedian fame.
Yep.
Sitting at 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Why have I not heard of this?
Don't you follow Josh on YouTube? He did a good review of it. That's what made me want to watch it.
Josh Hickey? I was
Yeah,
like, I thought you were talking about Jacob Tremblay. This is an animated film.
yeah,
From Charlie Kaufman. Interesting.
yeah.
Very, very interesting. Okay. Orion stop letting fear control his life. So it was pretty good, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
very
I'll
good.
get.
It's just the bounce DreamWorks needed after the terrible Ruby Gillman and Trolls 3.
Oh, it's DreamWorks as well.
Yeah, co-produced by DreamWorks on Netflix.
Why haven't I talked? I should know about this movie.
Yeah, you should know all about it.
Oh my god. Okay. You know, I'm so far behind on 2023 movies. It's taken me a long time to see 2024 movies. But I
Same.
did watch one last night that I actually really enjoyed. Started off a little bit dicey, but it really won me over, and that is the new Mean Girls movie.
Yes, that's the only other 2024 release I've seen.
Yeah. I think that was my third. Let me see if I can see what the other ones were.
That's
But
I've
yeah,
only seen two, and the only one I would consider a favourite is Orion and the Dark.
yeah, I saw Self Reliance, which was written and directed by and starring the same guy who was in New Girl, Jake Johnson,
Oh yeah,
and then I also saw The Beekeeper.
which I was
Jason,
going to watch earlier.
yeah, Jason Statham. But yeah, Mean Girls is pretty good.
Yes,
I like the
definitely.
music in it, and the girls actually started to grow on me, because the girls in the first one are so damn good. It was impossible to beat them, and instead of trying to beat them, just make it your own, and they did a really good job.
They did.
Yeah, cool.
Cool.
Well, this was a lot of fun, and I'm excited for the Oscars, and I'm also excited to move on from them once they're over.
Yes, definitely.
Focus on 2024.
Yes, and when you do that, make sure Ryan and the Dark is one of your
Yeah,
picks.
Ryan in the Dark.
Trust me on this hidden gem.
No, I'm into it.
Sound.
Yeah. And then also I want to see Drive Away Doll. So let's see
Same.
what consensus are on that. Cool. Well, Rob, thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun. Check me out at Worth of View Movies on all the things. Tell us what your favorite Best Picture nominated movie is in the comments below.
Yes.
Who do you think's going to win Best Picture? Tell us all that good stuff because we want to hear it and talk about it. And what about you, Rob? You got some some Fleming Awards going around?
Yes, so I don't know whether people are aware of this, but I've been reshuffling the Fleming Awards because I wanted to make them a bit more fair and have everybody vote on them like I do every other year. And I've reshaped them to make them a bit more consistent, a bit more so everything's in the same year, date, and there's no arguments, and everything's going swell at the moment.
Yeah, so when you started them, you kind of picked your own winner, but also it was based on release of theatrically in UK.
Yeah,
Yeah. So now you've revamped it where it's the same year that it would have been nominated for an Oscar,
yeah,
and people are finding out that they like the movies that maybe wouldn't have been picked for an Oscar.
exactly.
Yeah. So there you go. Check that out.
Yes, definitely.
Cool. Well, we'll
Cool.
do this again soon.
Yes,
And
we'll do this again soon. So I've got a lot of good ideas for rank lists.
awesome. Can't wait. Until then.
Until then, thank you so much for your part in today's video, Justin, and I hope to see you soon. And thank you, everybody, for watching. I'm going to leave you all in peace, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.
Bye.